All right, looks like we're live. Welcome everybody. And today, it's finally the day to start working on adding some LSP integration. Oh, that's too loud. Yeah, to start adding some LSP integration to our little Vimlike model editor. So I've been doing a little bit of research about how the LSP server works. Basically, we're going to be the client. Our editor is going to be the client, and we need to talk to an LSP server. There are many out there, but of course, we're going to start with the one for Rust, which is a Rust analyzer. And basically, the way that you communicate with any LSP server is through JSON RPC. So let's take a look at the specs here for the language server protocol. And you see, as soon as we get here to the base protocol, you see that basically this is like a simple HTTP request. The only thing you need to send really is the content length. And then the content itself is JSON RPC 2.0, right? Basically, it's a JSON message that always has this JSON RPC, has the method, and has the params. And the params is really the message you want to send to the LSP server, right? There are different kinds of messages. Let me see where that is reflected here. So you can see that we have the request message, and all the documentation here is written as if they were kind of TypeScript interfaces. So we're going to definitely have to transform this to Rust. So as I was saying, you have a request message, and request messages are messages that expect a response. And for that, you always need to send an ID, a uniquely identified ID. And you're always going to receive a response for those kinds of messages with the same ID that you send. And on top of that, and then the message can have an error or a success. There are some documentations about error codes and whatnot, but we're not going to do much with those today. And then the other thing that we're going to see today is this notification message, right? Which is almost exactly the same as a request message, but as you can see, we don't send an ID. And that's because we don't expect a response from a notification message, right? So either when we receive or when we send notification messages, we don't expect any responses. It's just letting the other side know that something happened, right? Okay, so that's it for the basics of the protocol. And then the interaction with a server happens. Let me see where I can find the documentation about, let me see, Braze protocol. Let me see if I can find it here. I actually didn't see that on the documentation. I actually watched the video about this guy that was implementing an LSP server. So the counterpart of what we're implementing today, right? So let's see here. Let's go to the very top, overview. Yeah, I think this is a good intro, right? So we have the development tool here, which is us, and the language server here on the right-hand side. You can think this is like Rust analyzer. Basically, this is what the request looks like, the response and whatnot. And then basically the first thing that you need to do is to say what your capabilities are, right? If you're able to do text completions and a lot of other stuff. I was trying to see if there is an explanation of like the protocol, what you can do. But basically, implementation, specification. Yeah, basically what we're going to do, we're going to communicate with the process with Rust Analyzer over standard in, standard out. So basically we're going to run Rust Analyzer, and we're going to send and receive messages using standard in and standard out, right? That's the basic way to do that. And I think that's the way NeoVim, for instance, does. An implementation for Node. No, that's not what I was looking into. I was trying to see if it explains here that you can use either standard in, standard out, or there's IPC, I think, is another possibility, but I'm not having any luck finding it. But you know, in a nutshell, what we're going to do is, if we go here to the plan for today, we're going to write code to send messages to the LSP server and receive responses, also send notifications and whatnot. And then we're going to try to get to a point where we can initialize the LSP and get this link established, right, with the LSP. So without further ado, let's delve into this. So my idea here was to start with creating a new LSP file. So let's do that, like that. And let's create a method here called start LSP. And then what we should do is run Rust Analyzer and remap the standard in and standard out think that would be a good first step. So let's go ahead and do, I think it's command. Oh, let's put this guy on our main. Let's include this file. So let's do mod LSP. And let's import command. And then let's do new Rust analyzer. And then how do we capture the standard in, standard out? Let me take a look. Rust command. Okay, you have arguments. You see here standard in, standard out. Rust spawn command and use std in, std out. Yes, command stat out. Oh, so that's how you do it. Okay. So let's do like that. Let's do standard in, standard IO piped dot standard out. Same thing. Doesn't like it very much. Function. There we go. So we like this. Okay. And then let's do spawn. And let's make this return anyhow result. So we can do this. Good. Let's do OK. Perfect. And then let me see here. All right. So now we need to take this into a the process is going to be this, and then we need to do let that std in and std out. And then how do we need to read that, we need to do that, and then we need to read from, yeah, but in order to initialize we need to actually write. So let's do writer dot write all. Yeah, whatever, let's do that. Okay, so and then to test this, I'm thinking we should do like a config test that. And let's do cargo test test start LSP, no capture. Okay, expected initialize request, got error, receiving an empty and disconnected channel. Okay, so right, what we need to do is to send that message, right? So let's do this. Let's do let okay. So if we go back here on the specification, you see that the first thing that we need to do is initialize. So we need to send an initialize request. So let's figure that out. So we need to do, so initialize request is going to be JSON. So we can use sorted.json. And we're going to do JSON RPC. Yes. It's going to be 2.0. And then the ID is going to be 1, like that. And method is initialize. And the params, let's take this out. And let's see what the documentation tells us. So let's do the following. Oops. Like this. Why is this not working? No idea. Okay, let's go back to the browser. There we go. What if we do now? Okay, now it's working. Okay, what do we need to send is initialize params. So you have to send the process ID, which can be null. So let's send that as null. So process ID null. Client info is optional, so we're not going to send it. Locale root URI. Yeah, let's do that. PWD. So this is where we are. Then that's fine. And then we need to get into the capabilities. Okay, this looks good. So you can advertise that we are able to do completions. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. Let's edit here. And then if you remember our request, how it needs to take place. Where was it? So base protocol, we need to basically send this, right? The content length with the size of the message, then do a carriage return, a CRLF here, and then send this document here. So let's try to prepare that. Let's do, oops. So the request is going to be, let's do the header first. So the header is going to be content length. We need to do let body equals to 30, yeah, to string. Then the content length is going to be body, like that, and we need to format this. And send the body length, like that. And then we need to write all. Then we need to do let request is going to be format, header and body. And then we need to write the request as bytes, I think. Okay, let's run this guy. Test. Okay, this didn't cause any errors, which in my book is a win. Now what we need to do is to read the standard in to see if we got a response for that initialize request. So let's go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do, yes, we need to first read the content length, reader.readLine. That's exactly what I wanted to do, like that. Let's do it like this. So let content length is content length dot strip prefix content length, like that. Then you can do let content length equals no. Okay, let's do that here. Dot unwrap. Let me put another editor here so my head doesn't get in the way. Let's do trim, and then let's do a parse into usize this. Perfect. So with that, we should know how many bytes we need to read, but we don't have read line, so let me import that. And we actually, if you see here, we have an empty line that we also need to account for. So I'm going to do reader.readLine and read another line, but I just want that line to be wasted. So I think I need to do something like let mute. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Buff reader, skip bytes rust. Take 5. Okay, so we have 4 characters. So let's see. Writer dot seek. No, there's no seek. Take. It's not writer. It's reader. Reader dot take 5. Does that work? Let's see. Oh, it's not a iterator. Okay. Let's go to Rust buff reader. Let's see. So it can seek. Let's see what the seek method does. Okay. Yeah, let's do seek to an offset in bytes in the underlying reader. No, I don't want to go to specific place. What I would just want to do is move 4 characters. Get mute. Seek relative. Seek relative, it position lies within the, okay. Perfect, let's try that. Seek relative 4, like that. So it's struck, but its traits bound were not satisfied. Child stayed out, seek. Okay, so I think we cannot do that. So let's just do the following. Mute empty line, string, new, like that, whatever. The reader, read line into that empty line. And then we do the whole content length. And then we create a buffer, let mute body, and then we read exact. So it's going to be reader.read exact. And then let's print out the body like this. Perfect. Let's try this. And I don't think we're getting anything. Hey guys, Felipe from the future here. Sorry to interrupt your video. I just wanted to spare you of going through this crazy research on why Rust Analyzer was not working, the interaction with it. So I'm gonna cut straight to the chase where I realized why it was not working, and then we can get started on the real content of this video, right? Once again, thank you for watching, guys. Standard in is a mute, yes. So writer is a buffered writer. Oh, is this being buffered and never sent? Oh my god, I think that's it. Do we need to? Oh fuck. How much time did we waste on this? 1 hour. 1 hour to get to this point. Okay. I guess we take it from here. Man. I just want to go home. All right. So, yeah. So now we are being able to get the body. Oh my god. All right. Let's parse the body. So parse body. Yes, and then let body. Body is gonna be Saturday JSON from string. And let's then print body. Okay, what was the issue now? Read exact. Let's print the body. Yeah, we have the body. Oh, this can't be printed like this. Pretty sure we have to print it like this. Let's see. Panic at 55. Environment variable to display a backtrace. Expected value line 1, column 1. Yes, so. Oh, I think we're not reading it. Yes, and println body like that. Okay, perfect. So we've been able to parse it. Now, I think the next step is that we need to send a notification back. So ideally what I wanted to do now is to start breaking this down into functions. So let's do that. Let's create a function. Pub function send request. And then what do we need here? We need the method. So it's going to be the method as a string and params as a value. Sorry, value. And then we also need the standard in to write to. Right, request, we format the request. Yes, so let's take the standard in as well, and the standard in is a mutable child std in. Method and params. And what does it return? We don't know. Yes, I think I was fine with that. Perfect. So now we can do send request std in. It's going to be std in, initialize, and then the JSON is going to be this. Let's do process ID null. Root URI, we're going to do what we were doing before. File, user, it's fcody, code red, like that. And then let's do capabilities, what we were doing before, which was this. Perfect. And then let's take all of this out, like that. And let's see if this still works. Didn't find child stood in. Perfect. And yes, it still works. And we get the response. All right, so let's create another method called pub.fn read response. And then here we're going to have, let's see, let's bring all of this in. Then we're going to take the reader. The reader is going to be buff reader. Actually, we can take the standard out. This is going to be, what is the standard out here? Child stood out. Like that. And then we're going to do this. Read the content length, read the empty line, parse the content length, extract the body, transform it to string, and then we're going to return the JSON value for that. So we do OK, and this guy, like that, take out the semicolon. Yes, and then this is going to be an anyhow response, and then value, like this. Non-response result. Good. Okay, so starting the LSP, we're gonna start this. We're gonna take the processes, send a request, and I think if it's a request, we should return the response right away. So let's do that. Okay, and then write all, and then read response. Then we need to take this stood out as well. So it's going to be send request, standard in, standard out. And then standard out is going to be this here. Yes, delete, delete, and like this. Okay. Let's see. Let response equals to this. Then let's print our response. Didn't work because, let's see. So performing the request, sending that. And we are send request, initialize with those, and then we return read response. That returned this. Start LSP. Oh, right. This doesn't return anything. Okay, so start LSP. We need to send a request. Let response equals to this. Then let's inspect the response to see what we get back. So we get capabilities, completion provider. Is there anything on the response that we can parse to see if that, oh yeah, we need to make sure that the number is the same. I think that's a good idea. So we're sending the request, and let's take this time to do this. Static ID equal atomic use size is this. Like that, and then when we're sending, let's do let ID equals, oh, let's create a get ID. Pub function next ID, that, fetch and add, perfect. So ID is going to be next ID. Then we do ID. Then response. If response, oh, here, like that. I think we can do res. And we can do rec. If res.id, like that, ID not equals ID. Unexpected response ID, I think that's fine. Otherwise, we return OK in the response. That's it. So start LSP, we start the processes, we send the request, and let's do, for now, respond this value, and OK, response. Just to make sure that this is working. Okay, perfect. Seems like it is. Now, if you remember, once we receive, let me go back here to the initialize. This initialize request is sent as the first request from the client for us to the server. For request, response should be where there this message can be picked up by the server. If the server receives a request, oh no, okay. Until the server has responded, initialize request with initialize result, the client must not send any additional requests or notifications to the server. In addition, the server is not allowed to send any requests or notifications until the client until it has responded with initialize result, with the exception that during the initialize request, the server is allowed to send notifications, such and such. Okay. And then if we take a look at the initialized notification is sent from the client to the server after the client received the result for the initialize. So let's take care of that. So once we get the response for the request, what we're going to do is send notification. Yes, that we initialized like that. So let's create the method send notification. Then, as I said, the notification is the same structure as the request, but we don't send an ID. So that's good. Let's send that notification and see if that works. And it did. Client exited without proper shutdown sequence, and that's also to be expected because in order to disconnect from the server, you need to issue this shutdown message, but we're not there yet. So if you take a look here, shutdown is expected before finishing the process. Okay. All right, so I think we're in good shape as far as requests and responses. Let's create a method now. So start LSP is going to start it. And then instead of doing like send request, let's create a method called send initialize, right? And this is going to return anyhow. Yeah, if we start looking into, let's take a look at the initialize method, right? We need to start extracting those structs. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a folder here, a new module for LSP. Oops. And then I'm gonna move this guy. So I'm gonna rename it to LSP/mod, like that. And inside LSP, we're gonna have this mod, but I also want to have another file called types.rs. And then let's do our first struct, which is gonna be initialize params. Initialize params. Let's make this public. And let's see what we have here. We have process ID. Process ID. It's going to be, yes, an option U64. Let's put that there. And let's put this guy here. Then we have client info, which is going to be client info, optional as well. Then we have locale, option string. What else? Root path, like that. Root URI. Initialize options. Yes, takes anything. Capabilities, and that's the one we really need to pass. Client capabilities, and then trace. It's going to be an option, trace option, and workspace folders. It's going to be an option of workspace folder. Perfect. All right. Let's now do pub struct capabilities. No, client capabilities, because client capabilities is actually not optional. So let's take a look at client capabilities. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff here. So we have workspace. I'm not going to worry about that one now. Which one are we passing? It's the text document. So let's just do the text documents for now. Text document client. Let's find text document client capabilities. So yeah, let's create this struct here. Text document client capabilities. Let's do synchronization. It's going to be an option of text document sync client capabilities. Completion that hover signature help declaration. Declaration, client capabilities. We have definition. What else? Definition, type definition. Implementation, references, document highlight, document symbol, code action, code lens, document link, color provider, formatting. As you guys can see, it's very simple, right? Range formatting, on type formatting, rename, publish diagnostics, folding range, selection range, linked edit range, call hierarchy, semantic token, moniker, type hierarchy, inline value, no, inline value, that, inlay hint, and diagnostic. Okay, all right. We're for sure not gonna, implement all of this. I just want to do the bare minimum. So document client, text document client capabilities go into here. And if we look here, we were doing completion. So let's just do completion. Let's move completion to the top here. And let's actually comment out everything else. Like that. Let's do pub, struct, that one. Like that. Let's see if that's correct. Oops. This one here. So snippet support, no, dynamic registration, completion item kind, context support, we're missing insert text mode. Is an option of insert text mode. Then we have completion list, which is that. And I think we're good. All right, let's see which one we were implementing was completion item. So let's see if we have anything here that is mandatory. Don't looks like it. So let's comment this guy out and comment everything here out as well. So completion item, let's do that one. Pub struct completion item, completion item, snippet support, option bool, commit character support, option bool, documentation format is an option of vec markup kind, correct? Deprecated support, Boolean. Pre-select support, Boolean. Tag support is a completion item tag. Says that it's a value set. What is a value set completion item tag? Render a completion as obsolete. Yeah, it seems like it's just that. Just a vector of completion item tags. But since it's named, I think that I will do thinking. So completion tag support, yeah. Let's do completion tag. Let's do pub struct completion tag. This is gonna be value set, yes, like that. So tag support, the next one is insert. Replace support is a Boolean. Resolve support is an option. Yes, completion resolve support. So that one, pub struct completions resolve support. That's it. Next up we have insert text mode support is an option of insert text mode. Let's create that guy. Pub struct insert text mode, value set, perfect. And I did inert, it's insert text mode support. And then finally we have label details support. Label details support is an option, perfect. All right, and I think that was everything that we needed to offer some, snippet support, is that here? Snippet support, perfect. So now let's come here, and instead of doing this, let's create the specialized method to initialize, and it's gonna be initialize. It's gonna take, instead of taking the standard out and standard in, I'm wondering if we should make a struct for the LSP client. I think we should. Let's start doing that. So let's do struct LSP client. This is going to have the std in, which is going to be the mute child std in, the std out, same thing, child stud out, like that. Then let's implement LSP client. And then when we do start, that's when we have to do all of this. So let's implement start. Let me copy that method. Yoink. Let's paste it here. Let's call it start. And we're not going to do any of this. We're going to return, yeah, let's do pub fn new, return self. We actually cannot do that. We need to do start. Yes, so this is going to anyhow result and self, like that. And then you do self, instead in, instead out. Okay. And I think we're good. Now, let's add send request and the parse response, the read response. Let's extract them, take them out, paste it here. So this is going to be like that, just a mutable self. Like that. So we take a mutable self. Do we need to be mutable? Yes, we do. So we're going to take the next ID. We're going to do all of that. And then read response. Here is self.std in. And then just take the response like that with a self read response. That's correct. Yep, and I think that's what we needed. Here, read response, we're going to do mutable self, like that. Read response. This doesn't have to be visible because it's only going to be used when we have a request. This is self stood out, like that. And I think we're good. Okay. So let me move this next idea. It's fine. Let's keep it there. Oh, send notification is another one we need to put in our instance, like this. Then send notification is going to be mutable self. Is it mutable? I think it is. Self. In, yes. Then we no longer need this guy. Like this. Okay. Perfect. So we no longer need start LSP. But I think we're going to need the send request piece. Yes. So let's change our test down here to do the following. Let client equals to LSP client start unwrap. And then let's do client dot initialize like this dot unwrap. This is what we expect to get. Initialize should send the request, get the response, make sure that the response is good, and then send out the notification to Rust Analyzer, right? So let's do that. Okay, pub fn initialize mutable self, and this is going to return anyhow result nothing for now. So we're going to do the send request piece that we had down here. And we're going to paste it on initialize like that. Okay. Like that. Then let's do okay. Here it's self send notification. No need to pass the standard in anymore. And then here we have the send request. Self send request that. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do it like this, and then we can do as mute when we need it to. Okay. We no longer need this method. And I think we're chilling. Let's see. So this has to be mutable. Do we have any issues? What is the issue here? Cannot move out, that out, which is behind a mutable reference. Right. So I wonder, do we take the standard out every time we need it instead? Process. So that's a problem, right? Let me think. As mute, wasn't that what we were doing before? Let's see. And that's the outtake. Let's see. No, doesn't seem like that's gonna work. So let's think. Oh, what if it's not mutable and we do as mute? Let's see. So we keep it like this and like this. So this is going to be stood out. I'm thinking here. I think that was not the best way to go about this because yeah, I'm almost thinking that what we need to do instead, is the following. Because, in the end, what we really want to do is to have the LSP running or the standard out process running on in the future, probably a different task. But as of today, I want to spawn a thread for ES. So let's try to do that. Let's create a method called start LSP. And then let's do the following. Let's extract this piece here. Right? Let's do public function start LSP. Like that. And then, let's see. Let's thread spawn move. Then let standard in is going to be child. Sorry, process. But this has to be mutable. Like that. Then, oh yeah, we need something to communicate to the outer world, right? So someone is gonna request, let LSP request transmission, and yes, it's gonna be a channel. So this is for someone to request something to the LSP. Is a channel that we're gonna use to do that. And then we're gonna have another method where once we produce a response, we're gonna send that using this channel. I think that's the best way to go about this. Then here, while let okay message is equals LSP receive body no. When we do this, that's when we want to send a request. But we need to define a structure for people to request. So let's do that. So we're going to have pub struct request. Thinking here. Yes. Request, and then yes, the request is going to have ID, yes, and then we also going to have the response, and we're also going to have the notification. Yes, perfect. And then I think it makes sense for us to have an enum that is a message, then can be a request or a response, I think. Yes, doesn't make sense. No, not a request response. Either a request or a notification. Yeah, so this channel here is going to have receive a message, and this channel here is also always going to respond with a response like this. Okay. Then yes, we start the process. We do the standard in, and once we receive a request, we're going to see match message. If it's a request, message request rec. What we're going to do is call a method called LSP send request, and we're going to give it standard in and the request like that. I don't think we need to borrow it. I don't think we can borrow it. Let's see, message notification. Notification, yes, send notification. Actually, yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so that takes care of our thread that is going to be dedicated to processing requests, right? Okay. So let's import thread. And let's create those methods. So this idea of an LSP client like this is not going to fly. So let's do the LSP public function LSP send request. Then we do yes, turn it in, and the request. Almost. So I think we got it actually. Yes, but only thing is that this is gonna return anyhow. Result like this. Then we're gonna do okay. Then let's take all of those unwraps. Like this. Cool. I think that's fine. Let's do now pub function LSP send notification. Same thing, it takes yes. And here, so the request doesn't need. So I'm wondering, can we send, yeah, I don't think notification needs to be different. We just put the ID and get the next ID. So message can always be a request. So let's rename this to request. Does that make sense? How do we know then if we want, oh no, we can't do that. Yeah, but we still don't need the notification here. Oops. And what we can do instead is, what's the nomenclature that they're using here? Let's see. Base protocol, request message, and notification message. Yes, and those are messages. Okay. Yeah, so let's call this message, and yeah, I think that's fine. Oh, but I was thinking, do we even need a notification? Let's see, request message. You have ID, method, and params. Response message, response error. And then for the notification message, you have basically the same thing without the ID. But when we're sending a request, we never want to send the ID, right? But let's keep it here to differentiate them. We figure this out. We put that in when we're sending. Okay, let's continue. So yes, if it's we're going to send a request, the ID is not going to be the request.id. That's the problem. Yeah, this has to be next ID. Does the client, yeah, maybe we even return that ID, right? Let ID is next ID. Let's do ID here, and then if people are outside are interested on the ID, we can return the usize of the ID. And here we can do ID, like that. I think I like this. Yeah, and I think we're still gonna do request here. Then the same request can be sent either as a request, where it gets an ID, or as a notification. Okay, this gonna return anyhow result. Perfect. Send request, send notification, perfect. Okay, so let's emulate this on the initialize method. And I think when you start an LSP, you are indeed gonna get an LSP client, but this LSP client is gonna be completely different. Check this out. So we're gonna, can we get rid of this? The only thing that I wanted to keep was this. I guess so, yarn, and then what we can do is temp request, and let's put that here and leave it there. All right, so we don't need LSP client anymore. We still want the, hold on, before I delete this, let me see. So we're taking care of the writing, right? Of sending stuff. We need to, I think we need to do the receival part before I'm confident in deleted everything else. So let's create the counterpart. So let's spawn another thread here. And this is the one that's going to be reading from the process. So let mute reader equals that. Is that a loop, I wonder? Buff reader new. Let's see what it's proposing, because I was not thinking of using a loop here. But maybe it's right. Maybe we do need a loop. Let's see. Reader, read line, yes. So we have the content length. We have the empty line. We are parsing the content. We are basically, yeah, and then we're sending the response. I think this is perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we just need to, and then we're going to return. Here at the end, we're going to return an LSP client with the pieces that we didn't use, which is, so here what we're doing is we're using the receive part. We're going to do the transmit. Yes, so LSP request TX and LSP response RX. Let me see. Yes, because we're going to send requests through here and receive responses through here. That's it. Okay, so now let's get rid of this guy. Send request, don't need it anymore. Read response. I think we have next ID already. Maybe not. No. Okay. So now let's go ahead and create LSP root client. No. Pub struct LSP client is going to have an LSP request TX. So it's going to be that and a receiver. Perfect. Implement function or associated items start not found. Yeah. Send request, and then the notification here is going to be a request as well. This is going to be a request. Undo. Let's rename it to a request. Cool. LSP send request, LSP send notification. Oh, we're inside a thread here. So what we need to do is to send an error. Yes. So the response, I think we're going to have something like LSP result, which can be response, no, success, then response or an error, and we need to define the error. Response message and then response error. So here we're going to do pub struct response error. Yes, so we have a code, a message, and a data. Perfect. So LSP send request. This guy can fail, and if it fails, we need to let the client know, right, that we got an error. But it could be like an LSP error or our own processing error. So when I say the client, I say the editor needs to know that something happened with us during this communication with the LSP server. Maybe the process exited, I don't know. So I think we need to communicate that. So on top of having the an enum with the response, what I really would like to do is to do like response here, right? But I don't think I can. What I think I can do is rename response to response success. Response message. Oh, response message is fine with me. Let's rename this to response message. This way, the response itself can be either message, response message, or error, response error. Yeah, now I like that. Let's think. And then when someone is looking for that, they're going to be receiving a response, right? It can be error or it can be a processing error. And then we can, yeah, let's keep it as a string for now. To do, this should be an error type. I like that. Okay. Okay, so we have our response here. Yeah, now we can't do this. So we need to actually do a match. So let's do here match. So I'm thinking here. The only thing I think we should care about, at least for now, is if let error equals to this. Then what I think we should do is to get the channel, the other channel, the LSP response tx, and do this. Actually, what is error here? It's an error. Can we do like a box error here? Is that a can of worms? Yeah, I think it is. Let's do it like this for now. And notifications, we don't expect a response. But I guess let's do if let error. Well, this, we do the same thing, right? For now. Okay. So I think that takes care of the error handling. Now, yeah, so this is a response message, but we need to send response message with this. All right. Expected struct. Okay, yeah, this guy is declared wrong because this is no longer a response message, but rather a response. Use of moved value, LSP response tx. Yes, because it's being used somewhere here, right? So can we do let here, let LSP response clone. Then can we do just response tx here? This. Okay. Think that worked. And I think we're ready to give her this a first test. So let's see what we need to do. When we start LSP, we get an LSP client. So I think if we create a method here, so let's implement LSP client and implement the start method, pub fn start, and this, and we just call start LSP. Should work. Oh, and then, yes, we need to start implementing the methods like initialize. So pub function initialize, and this is just anyhow result like this. So what do we need to do in the initialize method? It's the same thing we were doing before, right? We need to send a request with initialize, much like this. So self, not self, but LSP, send request. No. No. We need to do is LSP request tx dot send, yes. And initialize takes the initialization message. So if we go to initialize here on the lifecycle, initialize, we need to send an initialization params, right? Process ID, client info. Yes, let's do that. So initialize, I think we can just call it params. Initialize params like this. Then let's go to types. Actually, let's go here and do mod types. You just write this guy. And then types, completion item tag, completion tag. Okay, so pub struct completion item tag. Render. So that's an enum, right? We paste this here just so we keep tabs of it. Markup kind. So that's fixed, right? Just send plain text. Okay, I think that's an enum as well. Plain text or markdown, like that. Okay, cannot find completion item capabilities. Completion client capabilities. It has completion item, not completion item capabilities, and then yeah. Okay, I think now this is all good. Oh, we don't have trace options like that. This is also like that. Perfect. Now I just realized we need to do derive, serialize, deserialize, and probably debug as well for all of those guys. Like that. Then let's do this. Pub struct, pub struct. And then pub enum, pub enum. Okay, so we have that. Oh, pub enum didn't work. Let's try it again. Pub enum. Oh, it doesn't work if you don't put the letter S here. So, oh boy. Pub enum this, pub enum like that. All right. So now here, what I want to do is Saturday skip if this is none. Same for all the options here. And then for the one that we need to provide, I think we're good because yeah, let's put this guy here since is it optional? Yes, let's see. Client capabilities. Maybe we do face client capabilities. So text document. Yeah, it's optional. Perfect. So let's go back here. Remove all the unused imports. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Where were we? Oh yeah, we finished the implementation of those, so now we were going to test it. So let's see. So what's the issue here? A field by the name exists in self. Is that? Let's see if we still have that error. Seems like that was a problem with our LSP server. Maybe. Okay, so this is correct. We need to return a result. Here we do, okay. LSP request TX. Oh yeah, so we were thinking that we now take the initialized params. Now we can import it. And what do we do with it? Let's see. Self. I think it has to be mutable self, like this. And then we send a request, and then we just need to provide this as the param. So we do params, it's just params, like that. Or maybe we need to do JSON of the params, like that. Okay. What is the next error? Initialize, and then let's finally send the initialized params. So let's take this out. Let's go here. So this is going to be initialize params, and then we're going to do text document is going to be text document client capabilities. Completion item. Let me see. Hold on. Let's do that. So okay, so now we have them all. Capabilities is the one we're looking for. So let's remove all of those and let's do default, like that. Oh, we don't have default? Let's see. We're probably gonna need a default here. Client capabilities also needs default, like that. And I think now we're good. So capabilities is gonna be client capabilities. And here we need Okay. Undo. Oh, we don't have this imported. Self types client capabilities. Of course. So this is going to be like that. Client capabilities. Unresolved import. A similar name is this. Client capabilities. Client capabilities. I can't tell the difference. Capability. Ah, capabilities. So there's an I here. There we go. Capabilities. Like that. And then text document. Text document client capabilities. Let's import this guy. Then completion. Pub. What is the completion? Completion is completion. Oh, we need some sums here. So capabilities is client. So this guy is sum. And then completion is completion client capabilities. This is going to be sum completion client capabilities. And then missing closing delimiter. So this serialization. No, that's not right. Completion item. Completion is this guy. And then completion item is some. Oops. Completion item. And this sum is like this. Okay. Like that. And the only thing we need is snippet support. Let's see. Completion item here. So this has to have a default as well. So we can do default, and this is going to be sum true. What's the problem here? It's private. Okay. We can definitely fix that. Here we go. And probably this guy is also private. Field process ID off. Okay, because the rest of the default. So that's for initialize params. Yes, we're going to have to do this. Go to the beginning of the line. Now let's do the following. Let's record a macro, pub, escape, then find this, not this, this, enter, go one down, and that's it. So now if we do Q, 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 we got it. So let's see now, no errors, okay. So let's do something here. Why sometimes I don't know what happens, but sometimes my commands don't work. My keyboard commands, like, okay. Now it's working again. There we go. Okay, so what I wanted to do was this, and do a cargo check, because I'm sure there's a lot of other issues. Okay, just warnings. Love it. So let's run the test. How many errors will we have? None? Okay. I like that. So let's take out this. And of course, we're going to have to fix this mess later because this is insane. But let's see. So we initialized. And let's put some traces around here just to make sure that we're properly initializing. Initialize. So this, yes, we need to wait for the response, right? So let response equals to self response receive. And then let's just do print the response here. Let's see if that works. Response cannot be formatted. Yeah. We'll need to annotate our little thingies here with debug as well. So derive debug, paste, 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 paste. Okay. Let's see now. Okay, so check this out. We sent a request and we did get a response with the ID 1. That's awesome. Now, to finalize the initialization, we need to send a notification, right? And then the notification, does it need to be with the same capabilities? Let's see. Or is it just, hold on, let's make this larger. Initialize, initialized. Oh, we don't need to send anything. Gotta love it. Okay, so it should be easy. So the only thing we need to do then is self.lsp request tx.send message request with method initialized and empty params. Exactly. And I forgot to say that this is a notification. Like that. And we need another, oops. Another one of those here. Actually, this is notification. And this is still a request. Okay, so to make our lives easier, I think we need to do pub function send request, and then we have request is a request, like that. So we just do this, right? Like that. And yes, and params. Yeah, no, we just need to put rec here. Like that. Right, that works. Let's create another one called send notification. Send notification, like that. And then pub function receive response, like that. Receive response, like that. And let's do self. Yeah, I don't think we need to send the request, actually. I think it's much better if we send method as a stir and params as value. And same thing here. And then we do request, method and params, like that. Where method needs to be method to string. Like that. And almost. Okay, so send notification, method and params. So now here is just send request. Delete all of this. Join. Delete to space. Initialize. Delete to comma. Then join lead to J, replace with this and then that. Perfect. Send request, yes. Have to do that. Okay. And then self.receive response like this. And we can just ignore it for now. Do we need to do anything with response? Then just self.send notification like that. And I think we're doing the same thing, but with a better API. Let's see if this still works. No. Unexpected initialize notification got expected initialize got a request. Okay. Why would that be? So if we send request, yeah, no, I don't get it. I did too. So are we sending this twice? Send notification. Yes, we are. This is supposed to be a notification like that. No wonder it fails. Yes, we're back to working. Ooh, that was a lot of work. I think I might end it here. Not super helpful or anything. The good thing is that for the next session, we have this start LSP that already starts the LSP as a separate process or two different threads, right? And we get the channels to communicate with those two running threads. So I think now it's just a matter of initializing the LSP as when we initialize the editor. And the next step is going to be for us to issue some completions, which are, I think, on the language features. Let's see. It's completion proposals, I think. Yes. So basically, we're going to send text document completion like this. I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. I'm going to look into that. But yeah, the idea for the next stream is basically to have some text completion. Yeah. All right. Sorry for the slow beginning today. I was knocking my head and not getting this thing to respond, Rust Analyzer. But I think we're coming out of it with some good tooling now to start really talking to the LSP, right? We created all this abstraction around sending and receiving messages, sending messages, receiving responses, sending notifications. We still need to do a little bit of error handling, but we're not quite there yet. And so I think that's it. Let's just do the following. Let's see what we did. Let's remove run.sh. Let's see what changed in main. Yeah, we're just including the LSP. The rest of the work took place on the new LSP folder. Git add, git status, git add, git commit, initial LSP support. Let's push it on. And yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you so much for watching once again. As per usual, I have a new Discord channel. If you want to chat, you're more than welcome to join. The link for this stream is going to be in the description below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you have the Twitch link down here. If you're watching this live and you want to see VODs and whatnot, the link to my YouTube is down here as well. So I hope you all have a good day, and thanks for joining. Talk to you guys later. Bye.